Hi guys, in this video I will be responding to someone asking me if it is I would be willing to do a follow-up video talking about different screws and bolts that might become loose over time on the cutter that might affect, like the alignment or the cut that the machine gives. Well, this is actually going to be a two-part video for the simple reason that I actually had taped something since last December where I was actually trying out a suggestion that someone left under one of my videos that they did to help with, getting a straight cut, where they were working with different bolts on the machine. And while I was going through that video, in the end, I found my cut to be the same. The result that I got ended up very close to what it is I was getting prior to tightening the bolts. And I will share the different bolts and stuff that I have found that become loose over time. And that's why I didn't put up that video, because I didn't know if it would have been helpful. However, looking back at the video footage now, which I did before making this video, I think what it is that you have to kind of play with the tension and the tightness, with the different screws and bolts that become loose, and you might be able to get a slightly straighter cut. This machine, unfortunately, I have not found any literature, and I doubt that there is any that exists, because it's just a home machine and not like a super high quality one. It does a pretty good job though. I don't think that there's any literature that gives you exact tension or, like torque for the screws or bolts. I just think that if it is you play with the tension between these different bolts and stuff that become loosened, that it can help you to get a straighter cut. And in the end of that, vlog that I'll post separate from this, I did mention that, which I think I mentioned in another video as well, the smaller the stack, the higher a chance you have of getting an almost 90 degrees cut, as opposed to when you get, past, probably like 250, 300 pages and above. That's based on my experience and measurement of the stack of papers that I use. Anyway, so I want to keep this video short. In this video, I'll just be telling you the exact screws and bolts that I have found that came loose over time. And very soon after, this week, hopefully, I will post the second part of this video, which is just a vlog, but I have to go back and kind of cut off, a whole lot of, I was just talking and stuff that, so I just need to cut it up a little bit. So the first few, I believe, really affects the fence and also the tension at which the knife comes down into your cutting stick. And then the others, I believe that when those become loosened, can affect the alignment of the knife or the straightness of the knife, which will of course affect how straight your cut is. So I will kind of go through the ones that affect the fence and the tension at which the knife comes down into the cutting stick first, and then the other ones that those are the ones that when you play with the tightness or tension of those bolts and screws, those I believe can really affect how straight your cut is. Alright, so the first one will be this hex screw to the front here that can become a little bit more loose than usual. It's usually a little bit loose already, especially if you see this washer is kind of wobbling on there. But you don't want to over tighten it and affect how far up or down you're able to carry your fence. And like just kind of watch out and take, kind of look and see where the bolts and stuff are lying on the threads, and try not to adjust that too much. Alright, so that's the first one that can become loosened. This takes a 5 to 30 seconds or size 4 in metric to tighten that one up. Alright, so then you have these bolts here that really controls the tension at which the blade comes down into the cutting stick. And those can become loosened, but of course you don't want to over tighten those as well, because then it will make working with the handle pretty difficult. Alright, so that's this one over there and here. And it takes a size 18mm socket. The opening, the ratchet is a 3/8. That's the one that I have here. I found that it's hard to use a wrench for these, so the socket works really well. And you want to tighten those just enough where it's not unsafe, where the blade just can easily drop on to the cutting stick. And when this large hex screw here that is working its way through this bolt at the back here together with these screws, when those become loosened, it changes the angle, the side to side, so to speak, angle at which the blade is cutting into your paper or the cutting stick. All right, so tightening this together with these is what's going to affect the angle of your blade side to side. Whereas if you touch the top and bottom bolts, like I shared in a couple videos before, those are what affects the angle of the blade, like up and down. So when you work with those top and bottom screws or bolts, sorry, that will affect, you know, how high or low one part of the blade is in reference to the other. And this hex screw and these screws will affect the angle at which your blade is cutting side to side. Hopefully that makes sense. So you definitely don't want to over tighten them, right? Well, the screws along the knife, of course you don't want to over tighten those because it's going to affect the angle, but also because you have to change your blade, you know, you eventually have to change it, and you don't want to strip the threads, but it will also affect the cut if these are too tight. All right, so I just want to leave this with a last note of saying that if it is your the alignment of your blade is fine, like when it like up and down this way, hopefully that makes sense, then you don't want to change or touch these two bolts, the top and bottom. You just want to take a hex screw. This takes 7/32 or size 6 in metric, and just work with this, and then of course, you know, a screwdriver to tighten these screws. I would leave this video here. Hopefully that was helpful. Very soon I will upload a vlog of me working with the machine, and even though in that vlog I more or less ended up with a similar cut than that I was getting before, I now understand truly the comment that someone left under an old video where they said that they worked with theirs, you know, tirelessly, and they were able to get it where it was cutting straight. So which means I need to work with it even more if I desire a straighter cut and find an even better distribution of tension between these screws in relationship to this hex screw in the back there. Anyway, hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions or anything to add, please feel free to leave it below. And thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you in another video. Bye.